Hi everyone, it's Kasia from Tarot Map. It's a beautiful day and we are heading towards autumn equinox, and I just thought I wanted to have a little chat with you about autumn equinox. I have pulled a few cards from Mad Tarot that I wanted to share with you. Also wanted to share with you that book. To me, autumn is a beautiful season. But I have to say that I love all the seasons. This is just, I love the changeability of nature and the whole cycle. But when we hit autumn equinox, Mabon, we're here to celebrate the harvest. So we're here to celebrate the fruit of the land and the abundance, the beauty of nature. But we're also here to notice how everything slowly starts to die out. So we achieve that peak in summer solstice, and then slowly the energy after summer solstice starts to withdraw its warmth from us, and we're heading towards winter. And in Mad Tarot, which I want to share with you, a season of autumn, which is interesting because it's a little bit different, because here swords are connected to fire element, but season of autumn is connected to swords. And she writes that the Ace of Swords represents the season of autumn and its element is fire, symbolism, the deconstruction, a time for harvest, increasing darkness overtakes light, activity gives way to inactivity and rest. You know, I'm a little bit baffled about that fire association with this element, but at the same time you could easily be baffled about air association with this element. I do personally associate fire element with summer, with the hotness, with with the brightest sun. So to me, fire element with air and autumn equinox doesn't go so well together. I'd be willingly more to go water with autumn equinox, or maybe even like air, it's fine. But she connected it to fire. In any case, this time of harvest and increasing darkness that overtakes the light. And activity gives way to inactivity. And I thought this is very beautiful about autumn, that slowly, all the juices kind of go within, the leaves are falling down, and we slowly withdraw from too much action and head towards that little hibernation of winter. Another card that she, in Mad Tarot, connects to autumn equinox is the card of Tower. And she writes here that autumnal equinox is the time of the second harvest festival, when many once vigorous plants begin to dry out and drop their fruit. The work of harvesting the good fruits for winter stores begins in earnest now. The unusable fruits will be left to give themselves back to the soil, as eventually all matter must return to earth. So that's quite gorgeous. And the image of the tower in Mad is a dead, decaying tree being struck by a bolt of lightning. Though this tree is providing habitat and shelter for many creatures, it must eventually be returned to the earth to provide space and nourishment for a new tree. This new tree will grow, not only providing a home for many new creatures, but it will also provide oxygen, shade, erosion control, and other benefits. So equinox is the breaking down of non-life, giving way to a healthy and timely harvest. So this is something to take into mind. And it's interesting maybe with the tower being a card she picked for autumn equinox for Mabon. Again, she associates it with fire, so it makes sense. But to me also, Mabon is time of the year when we tend to go inside and seek connection to our souls. We tend to figure out what we want to, grow later on in the spring equinox, but also what we want to celebrate and enjoy in life, and what maybe we want to release before winter hits. So we like preparing for that winter solstice to come as well, with cultivating and growing what strengthens us, and expanding our knowledge about ourselves, but also getting rid of it's not necessary, so that space for the new can be made. And she gives examples of a few different gods connected to the tree. She speaks about Tower of Babel, but also she says that in a reading when Tower, I just read it to you because it's interesting. In a reading when Tower shows up, it usually means that something has happened or is going to happen that will take you by surprise. Sometimes what happens can leave you feeling shattered, but you will find that all situations have balance, and that Tower situations that started out being a bad thing turns out to be the thing that teaches you a valuable lesson. When seeking information about timing, this card would represent the idea that once this point is reached, the worst will be over. It's the end of something and the beginning of movement towards improvement. So she gives the Tower very kind of Eureka-like, rebuilding extra, rebuilding our strength energy. To me, in readings, Tower often represents a time where you crave to shatter your own limitations that you put onto yourself. It represents sudden ideas. It also represents something that expands your understanding of the world and of yourself. So it's quite interesting card. In business reading, it often represents expansion also, I noticed, and in the wheel and time when you want to maybe enlarge your business or go forth with it and rebuild it in some way. Another card that she picks for, so this one says Autumnal Equinox. So for Autumn Equinox is the Prince of Swords. And the image for the Prince of Swords is a young warrior, sword in hand, just about to take his revenge. Someone or something he loves has been threatened, and his reaction is anger and violence. His rage can make him an unstable force. He has lost touch with his feminine side as well as his partner. This prince does not realize that he and the land are one. He does not understand that what he does to others, he also does to himself. He can blame an entire race for the crimes of a few. He is the creator of the wasteland. His fears and pain have made him cruel. His mortality is the gift that removes tyranny and allows life to renew itself. So she asked here with this card about the emotion of anger and rage, and I think Autumn Equinox brings a lot because, during Halloween the veil is thin, there's a Day of the Dead, there's quite a lot of kind of happy, sad, like quite contrasting emotions around this time, and also this time of proper withdrawal and really facing often the shadows and facing our hard emotions, facing our pain, giving ourselves time to feel it and to be more quiet, So she asked here, have you ever felt so angry that you thought you were going to break something? Anger comes up when we feel victimized in some way. Have you ever been confronted by someone who is enraged? Most people's first reaction might be to meet that anger with more anger or with irritation. But what if we met that anger with knowledge that this person has never felt more like a victim than right now? How would we like to be treated if we were angry? What if we reacted to someone else with to someone else's rage with empathy? Next time you are witness to rage, take a moment to understand instead of self-protecting. So she gives you this kind of Autumn Equinox, harmony, balance, a chance even when you're faced with powerful, strong emotions to respond in a compassionate, empathic way. So traditional meaning of this Knight of Swords is an aggressive man with brown hair, the zodiac sign of Gemini, one who is unmarried. And in a reading, this card represents an angry person whose pain has made them overly sensitive and unbalanced. The rage and attitude he slings as his protection. The brick wall he or she has built up around them is protecting them from being hurt again. Trust will have to be established before communication and healing can take place. So also I think autumn equinox is a powerful time of forgiving and forgiveness in preparation for winter, when the light starts waking up at winter solstice already. During the autumn equinox, I think, and the next 3 months over to winter solstice, it's the best time to deal with hardship, with tough emotions, with pain. Just watch ourselves and give our pain a proper validation. So not discharge it, not blame others for it. Just try to understand it and give it some space and love. Is there another card that she associates with this? No. So these 3 cards, Julie, so Matt Tarot, and what's Julie Kucia Watts or Kucia Watts, associates with autumn equinox. She does change the element for the swords to fire, but so these 3 cards just deal with autumn equinox in Matt Tarot. I also wanted to share that card of new moon in Virgo that we just had yesterday or 2 days ago. And in this deck, new moon in Virgo, it's 4 of coins. And the week of the new moon in Virgo, in general, the new moon phase symbolizes always being at the beginning and end, seeing life as an ever-opening bath. The intuition rather than logic rules here, the projection of self on others' motivations, very powerful for beginnings and endings. So with the new moon, when you look at the sky, you still cannot see any light. For the first, the first day of the new moon, and then the light starts growing. But when we think of Virgo and October, end of September, October, so this is about stocking our cellar and taking care of our body, looking at our base, sacral, solar plexus chakras that need to be strong and support us during the winter time that are coming. And this picture shows farmer and his wife, and abundance of food in their cellar. So this is also around autumn equinox, the abundance that is around us that we can use. The 4 of coins gets a bad reputation for representing a miser. Often in Rider-Waite-Smith system, the 4 of coins are seen as like someone who's really holding tight to their money. But however, this time of year is the time to begin to preserve the abundance of the harvest for the coming winter months. Activities include canning, drying, freezing of fruits and vegetable. If we think of it symbolically, it's also about, preparing our inside for that dead months of winter when it's can be tough, when we might be faced, with lack of light, and to keep that light of ours burning strong, even if it's limited because of the cold, but still it's there. And autumn equinox, it's a great time to prepare and to, face and gather strength until winter solstice. So also it's about what we think about abundance and what we think about poverty and wealth, because in this book here she describes it as a perception of our mind. So you can be rich and still think you have nothing to share, or you can be poor and share with others and never lack anything. So this card can also be a symbol of creating your own sacred space, which is beautiful for autumn equinox. We spend much more time at home, so if you can create any you know, sacred space for yourself where you can feel like you can put the light on, you know, you can have all these crystals or things that, let me just check, things that you, like a little altar, you know, or things that you feel support you and remind you of the sacred space within you as well. So this is a great time to do that too. She speaks also about, you know, think for a moment about your beliefs regarding money, wealth, abundance. I actually went to a female circle yesterday, and we were talking, you know, with other women about finances, how this is kind of like such a taboo subject. It's even more taboo subject than sex, because sex seems taboo and you just don't talk about sex, but you actually talk more about sex, more openly about sex than about money. Finances is just one of those subjects that everybody just gets a bit uncomfortable around. So during harvest, you know, when you have this abundance of nature, do you feel abundant in your life? Can you make yourself see the glass half full and not half empty? You know, if it's full, is it full enough? Should you have another glass or a tank maybe? What makes you happy? What makes you feel abundant? Wealth is in fact a state of mind, and sometimes too much can be a burden. If you are not using something, perhaps it would be better to pass it on to someone who can use it and free up the space. That's another great thing about Four of Coins. If you hold too tight, if you hoard, if you let this energy be stagnant and not use it, you know, the food will go off, you won't use it, and you won't develop, you might get sick with the stagnant energy in your body. You want to keep it moving. If you don't like anything, harvest is also a great time, and autumn equinox, to create balance. So also to remove shit from your life, to share with others. And yeah, in a reading it says here it represents thrift. It suggests that in times of wealth and abundance, one should save for the future when times could be lean. And that comes from traditional nature time in Northern Hemisphere, you know, when you have autumn equinox and you prepare for winter. In winter nothing grows. Here it's cold, it's bloody like fucking miserable. Unless it snows, then it's nice. Also, I wanted to share with you a few spreads, but I'm going to change the camera. Thanks for watching, and I speak to you soon. Happy Mabon. So this is something which I came up with. So you pull 6 cards for balance. One would be strength. So during the harvest season, encourage this or be grateful for this. Second is weakness, so let go of it or pass it on. 3, I mean, pass it on as weakness. Could be also something which you just let go, you know. 3, it's something which you should do, so it's an action. 4, it's stop doing, release, ease on, or just, you know, don't do. 5, it's a guiding star, so it's inspiration. And ancestral guidance, open up to advice for the next 3 months, might be from your ancestors, from your guides. These 2 could be seen as just advice cards. Another one which I really like is the one from Ethony. So to harvest, what to take with you, to compost, what to leave behind, light, what to take out into the world, and dark, what to meditate on. So also a beautiful one. Also this 3-card one, Know, Grow, Let Go tarot spread. I found it on Pinterest. I can't remember whom is it from. I think it's from Boho Collective. So it's what to do, what do I need to know, what needs to grow, and what can I let go. So this is pretty cool. Where is it? It's here. What energizes me? Where do I find comfort? How can I maintain balance in life, and what do I need to leave behind? And this one is also quite cool. Okay, so this one is from Boho Collective, so I don't know which one, the Know, Grow and Let Go, I don't know where it came from, but I will check. So what lesson and wisdom will emerge for me to learn? What can I keep that will keep me on my path? How can I use these tools to connect with this new chapter? And what do I need to release from the previous season? So this is basically all of them create some kind of balance, what to keep, what to leave behind, and how can we use this energy of this next 3 months to really prepare for winter solstice, but also for awakening of light. So now this 3 months is actually really dying off of energy. So also the release and cutting cords and how we can how we can proceed without hoarding onto stuff is very important. So thank you for watching. Speak to you soon. Cheers. Have an awesome autumn equinox. Bye.